Hello, my name is Alvin, Master Numerologist, and today I would like to continue my series on exit points, sometimes referred to as transitional numbers. An exit point is when a soul decides to leave the body. It's the day, the month, and the year, and the age of the soul departure. Today, I would like to take an in-depth look at the transition of Mr. Teddy Pendergrass. Mr. Teddy Pendergrass made his transition on January the 4th, 2010. January, being the first month of the year, let us know that Mr. Teddy Pendergrass had a very strong urge to be number one. For an example, he was the only child of Jesse Pendergrass and Ida Geraldine Epps. At the age of 10, 1 plus 0 equals 1. He was an ordained minister. Harold Melvin, founder of the Blue Notes, made him the lead singer. His trademark style of singing was with a raspy baritone. The one energy is a very powerful, rough kind of energy. And so Teddy Pendergrass had that kind of raspy kind of baritone type of a voice. Now, the number one energy is strong and tough and enjoyed their independence. By the year 1975, Teddy Pendergrass and Harold Melvin were at odds, mainly over monetary issues and personality conflicts. Melvin was controlling the group's finances, even though Teddy Pendergrass was the one that was pretty much responsible for their success. He was the lead singer because prior to Teddy Pendergrass joining the group, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes had achieved some type of moderate success. And when Teddy left the group, eventually Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes disbanded. So Teddy Pendergrass was the force, the one energy that was propelling that group's energy to the top of the charts. But apparently, Teddy didn't feel he was getting fair recognition or getting his due when it came in the department of the finances. So, and additionally, people kept confusing. They People did not fully understood who was Harold Melvin, who was Teddy Pendergrass. They were mistaking Teddy Pendergrass for Harold Melvin, and that's why Teddy Pendergrass wanted the group to be renamed uh, Teddy Pendergrass and the Blue Notes. That's definitely a one energy, wants to be out front, wants to be the boss, wants to be in the control seats. So Teddy left the group in 1995, and he started his solo career. Solo means uno, means one, by myself. Now, the second subcore is the day he left the body, which was the 13th, reduced down to the number 4. And the number 4 is a very hard worker, so definitely Teddy Pendergrass worked very hard to achieve the success that he had attained. But let's go back to the two sub-elements that make our that goes into making our second sub-chord of the number 4, the 1 and the 3. The first sub-element, number 1, is reinforcing the strong will to be the best that he could be on stage and in the recording studio, which ties into his second sub-element of the number 3. In other words, the one energy that makes the first sub-element from his day that he left hooks up with his first subcore energy, which was the 1, because January is the first month. Those two ones create a very strong energy to propel the 1 to the front of the line. The 3 energy rules creativity and artistry, and the 3 energy rules, he was very disciplined in the studio. That would be the 4 energy, and the studio would be representing of the 3 energy, because the 3 energy rules everything that's dealing with entertainment. So that's how you read that. But when you reduce it down, it's to the number 4. Now the number 4 energy is a hard number, is an external number, and it works very well with the 1 vibrational energy. So the 1 and the 4 are indicating a very strong will, very self-determined type of personality. Now there's an energy that sits right between the 1 and the 4, and this 5 energy is going to play a very important role in Teddy Pendergrass' life. The 5 energy is there to kind of keep the 1 and the 4 energy from becoming too bossy, too cocky, trying to temper down the force of the 1 and the 4 energies. That's why that 5 was inserted in there. So so it sits between the 1 and the 4, and I'll show you that information visually later on in the video. So pretty much it was there to make sure that things didn't get too serious, that he couldn't take the time out for some fun and some relaxation. Now the third subcore, which is the year that he left, was 2010. Now this particular subcore only had 2 sub-elements, because in numerology we don't deal with the 0. So we had the 2 and the 1. So the number 2 and the number 1. The number 2 was there to bring some type of softness and to ease the dominant power of the number 1 and the number 4, because the 2 energy is a very lenient kind of vibrational energy. It don't need to prove anything, like a 1 energy has a very strong tendency to need to prove things. So that's what the 2 was there, to try to soften the 1 and the 4. But then the third sub-element of the 1 was once again prevalent, and so that particular 1 energy, combining with the 1 energy from January and the first sub-element of the number 13, really created a very strong backbone, in which perhaps the number 2 could not effectively effect, so to speak. So it added more strength to the previous 2 ones, more power to the 1, which, like I said, it was found in the first subcore of January and the first sub-element of the compound number 13. Now, these 3 ones created a very powerful voice, which is the number 3, because you got 3 ones. But this 3 energy is not a soft 3. It's very hard, it's very rough, it's very tough. And Teddy Pendergrass had a very strong, dynamic type of voice. In addition, when you add the 2 sub-elements together that's found in his departure year of 2010, you come back to the expressive number 3. So music was definitely part of his life path, because he was born in March, which is the 3rd month. That's just another indicator of just how strong the 3 was influencing when it came to the creative, artistic aspect of his life. Now, adding together the first subcore of January, which is the 1, to the day of his departure, which was on the 13th, to the year, which was 2010, you get the compound number of 2024. Now those two double twos creates a very strong platform, which is the number 4, because 2 plus 2 brings you back to 4. So far the profile is revealing a very strong outer type of vibrational energies. I'm recognizing a lot of 1s and 4s, and eventually you start seeing the 8s come up. And when you have that particular group of numbers coming together, it really creates an individual that's very dynamic in the outer world, an individual that has a very strong willpower, a very strong need for discipline and control, and very strong urge to create uh, resources. And when they all come together, you can pretty much bet your bottom dollar that this person is going to be a tremendous success, because he carries all the right external power energies to make it happen. So anyhow, the 2024, those double twos creates a very strong platform, which is the number 4. And the fourth sub-element is a 4, which is going to reinforce the previous 4 that was produced by the day that he was left on, which was the 13th. And then those two 4s, now we begin to see how the 8 energy is coming into play. Then those two 4s create the 8 energy. Because when you add all those 4 digits together, 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 plus 4 equals 8. It brings us to his core energy of the 8. His core was about being successful, being creative, being successful, being wealthy, being the best at what he does, better than anyone else. So a man who was tremendously successful in his professional life, a man who was able to accumulate lots of various resources. Pendergrass was on his way to be what the media was calling the Black Elvis. Not only in terms of his crossover popularity, but also due to him buying a mansion that was akin to Elvis' Graceland. And by the early 1982, Pendergrass was the leading rhythm and blues male artist of his day, usurping competition including closest rivals Marvin Gaye and Barry White. That is a very strong demonstration of the powers of 1s, 4s, and 8s. Now, Mr. Teddy Pendergrass left his body at the age of 59. And the first subchord age is the number 5. Now, in my opinion, my intuition is telling me that this first sub-age core of number 5 had two aspects, two major aspects. And I sense that the first aspect was that Mr. Pendergrass became reckless the night that he crashed his Rolls Royce that caused the injuries to his body. Because the 5 rules are recklessness. And later on, I will show you in part 2, I will go into a quick analysis of the energies that were surrounding that particular night. But the second aspect of the number 5, that Teddy really was enjoying his life, and he really felt good about how he had managed to utilize all of his outer powers of the 1s and the 4s and the 8 energies, and he was able to build an empire as grand as Elvis, which was no small feat. He was a self-made man. So those are the two aspects. Now the 9 energy plays out to the fact that he was very attractive to the ladies. Ladies found him extremely beautiful, and that he will attract women from all walks of life, all types of nationality, and that's what the 9 rules, all types of life, all nationalities. And he started a trend where he will only perform for women. The whole audience would just be female energy, screaming and hollering and doing all kinds of things, right, to get Teddy's attention. So that would be the 9 energy. But when you add the 5 and the 9 energy together, you're going to come back to the number 5, which is which I felt, in my opinion, that Teddy was a man who enjoyed his life, enjoyed his wealth, and because of those strong 1s and 4s and 8s, he was a man who stood taller than all of his peers, and he left his stamp upon the world stage. So rest in peace, my brother. So let me quickly show you on paper uh, his vibrational frequency of his transitional numbers. It was very interesting. Let me pull it up for you guys right quick. Hold on.